What's up, guys? Just want to do a quick comparison on the 2020 pitsterpro fse110r and the Kawasaki 2020 Kawasaki klx110l. This is literally brand new as of like a day or two ago. I've only put about, honestly, 15-20 minutes on it. Purchased this for my wife. I got an unbelievable deal on it, brand new and all, but I couldn't pass up the deal, so I went for it. I kind of wanted to build something up from scratch, as it's really actually pretty tough to build these up as they are done. I mean, I'm not saying you can't put small things here and there on them, but you know, they're pretty much come set from the factory done. But anyways, just want to do a little bit of a comparison. Everybody keeps asking me what I think about them. First off, let me start by saying, you know, I have no affiliation, no one's paying me to say this or anything like that. I bought these with my own money, and I'm just going to give you my opinion on them. You know, first thing everybody probably wants to know is which one's faster. And I can tell you right now, I haven't had them side by side, but that 110R, that pitsterpro 110R is definitely faster. You could say, well, you know, it's got aftermarket exhaust on it or an exhaust on it. And, you know, the filter's all open. You know, gets more air, this, that, and the other thing. Well, that's the way it comes from the factory. In my opinion, it also looks cooler, it looks better. I actually purchased this for my daughter, so she rides it. So the suspension is lowered on it. It's on the soft preload. I mean, you can't really see it because of the light, but I've got it extremely soft on the preload. You know, the front's got rebound and compression on it, and the rear's got preload and rebound on it. Obviously, the KLX 110 has neither on the front or rear. It just is what it is. Again, so I personally think the suspension's better on this bike. The travel, I think, is pretty close to the same. Maybe it's a little bit more on one or the other, but you know, that doesn't necessarily matter. You know, if the suspension is decent, then it doesn't matter how much travel it actually has. I've only ridden hers a little bit, and it's soft for me because I've got it set so soft for her. She's light. So it's tough to compare. I personally like the look of the suspension better. It's got an alloy swing arm on it. I think that looks better. The adjusters for the chain are better. The disc brakes look and are better than the drum. The bike is, I mean, there may be maybe a 15 or 20 pound difference, but the pitsterpro feels way lighter, and it's much easier to get in and out of my truck because it has a subframe, something to grab, which I guess I didn't realize, but this sucks. There's nothing back there. So I guess that's why T-Bolt sells those cradle things back there. Just another thing you got to buy, and you got to add more weight to it. Let's see, you know, the pegs are better. It's got a cradle frame on it. You've got to buy the cradle for this so the pegs don't rip out. The seat, I really like the seat on this. Much grippier, bigger, more comfortable, flatter. Well, I don't want to say it's wider, but it feels more comfortable in my opinion. This seat actually pushes you down in this section here, which squishes you up against the bars, which are too small, which obviously the bars are much bigger, wider, better on this bike. I added this light to it for so the kids could ride out on the property at night. Anyways, you know, the unbreakable lever. Obviously, this has got the 4-speed automatic, semi-automatic transmission, so there's no clutch on it. What else? You know, they both come with skid plates. The I don't know, it just got a better look to it. I mean, the black wheels, I just think that looks so much more updated. These look, you know, it's not like it looks horrible or bad or anything. It's just, I prefer that black look of the wheels. You know, it just makes it a better looking updated bike. Of course, the frame I think looks cool in the red. Got a little bit more of an updated look. You know, I believe some of these plastics will interchange with the KTM 65SX. I can't confirm all. Some guys said that all the plastics on the sides and the back there will come off of a 65SX KTM, and then that the front fender and number plate won't, KTM 50 will fit. I don't know. I'm not 100% on it. And same with my 190 over there. So anyways, I'm just throwing it out there. You know, the FSE, you know, it's $16.99. And I think it comes pretty much done. It's pretty nice, decked out. It looks great. It rides really nice. It's fast. I mean, like I said, it's definitely faster than this KLX. And again, you could say, well, it's not fair because this is all clogged up, this, that, and the other thing. But it's just one less thing you've got to do. Everybody knows that, you know, these are probably the KLX is probably one of the most popular pit bikes out there. And it is solid as a rock, I'm sure. I mean, they've been out forever. They don't have any huge issues, if any at all, really. I mean, I still think it looks cool. It's a great bike. I'm sure it'll last forever, this, that, and the other thing. Although, you know, the 110, I think this is the YX 110 engine. It's got a pretty decent reputation too. And I got to tell you, I think you can buy this motor for $300 or $400, you know, God forbid if something goes wrong with it. So $16.99, $24.99, you know, plus there's typically taxes and dealer fees and all that stuff. I don't pay any of that crap, but, you know, again, I bought this bike for my wife to kind of build it up, and I kind of wanted to do something, but I'm now, after looking at all these parts that I've got to buy to get it anywhere near like this, it's going to be really expensive. So, you know, I'm not saying necessarily one's better than the other. I'm just saying this Pitster Pro has got one heck of a good start over this one. You know, both have kick and electric start. You know, the price difference is kind of nice. You do have to put this one together. This one comes in a box, in a crate, basically. You know, any questions I've had, though, so far with Pitster Pro has been phenomenal. I mean, they've gotten right back to me. Messages, phone calls, emails, they're all over it. So I've had no issues with this one so far. I just had to tune the carb just a little bit, mess with the fuel screw on it, change the oil in it. My daughter has ridden the hell out of it, and I've ridden it, you know, quite a bit too. Actually, it's a fun bike to ride. You know, for my trails, actually, I think this works better than my 190R. This 190R is an absolute monster in the woods. It's actually kind of hard to control. And because it's got so much power, it's an awesome bike. But anyways, so anyway, you know, that's just kind of my comparison right now. You know, I'm gonna probably mod the KLX out a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, it's just gonna take a lot more money to get it the way I want it to look, which is kind of similar to this with the bars and the suspension, and I like that BBR swing arm and everything, but it's crazy how much all that costs. And then the bike itself is just, you know, more expensive to begin with. A couple things, other things too, real quick, is the height. The height on this bike, I think they're about an inch difference on specs on paper. Again, this has been lowered. The suspension is set extremely soft on hers. and I think hers is at 28.5 inches, and this one sits at like 29.5 inches or 29 inches. So if I put the suspension up and put it stiff for my weight, it would be, I guarantee you, just as tall or very, very close. So, you know, they're close to the same height. So anyways, that's it, guys. It's going to be tough to do a comparison as far as, you know, racing them next to each other because, you know, my daughter drives this one. I guess I could get a buddy, but then I got to readjust all the suspensions, real pain. But I can promise you this bike is faster. You can feel it, you can tell. This will lift me up, the pitsterpro will lift me up in second gear on power only still, like when I'm in the woods and the trails. This one I haven't taken through the trails yet. It's only been on the street and in my yard at my house, not on my property. So I don't want to give it an unfair review or advantage, but I can tell you just by feel as of right now, this sounds better and is more powerful. And I got to tell you, it's not horrible without the clutch either. It's actually kind of fun. Clutch does make it fun sometimes, but the tight single track that we have on my property, so far this one's pretty awesome. So we'll see. I'll do a little bit more comparison, an actual running comparison. Maybe I can get a buddy to ride one or something like that if I feel like adjusting the suspension up. And then, I guess while I'm at it, I just bought this one for my son, this fse110. This thing looks awesome. No kickstart, just a starter only, electric start only. But it is super cool looking, 10-inch wheels, little 60cc motor. I also added a light on here for him so that, like I said, they can ride in the dark out there on my property. Suspension looks really cool, the wheels. The bars, I mean, I rode it down the street the other day and it's only supposed to do, I think, 20 miles an hour, but it hauls butt with, I'm 180 pounds and it goes pretty quick with me on it. What's cool is there is a throttle stop on it if you need that for younger kids. It's got the wider pegs, you know, it's a cool looking bike. The only complaint I have on this one so far is the air filter. It is an absolute nightmare to get to. You gotta, you know, take these screws out, take the seat off, and you don't have to take it all the way off. I know some guys were saying you had to. You gotta lift it up a little bit, and I actually have to take the bolts out of the carburetor. I can't see it, the light sucks in here. Anyways, you gotta take the carburetor, not off, but the intake tube to the carburetor has to kind of come off so you can pull it out, loosen the carburetor off of the engine. So, I mean, it's only 2 bolts. It's not a big deal, but, you know, it's not fun. It's not fun. So, and then the air filter is actually crammed in between the frame rails and the motor. So it's just annoying to get to. It's not a great filter. It's one of those cheapo filters. But I ended up wrapping it like with a pre-filter. I had a KTM 500 and I wrapped my old pre-filter KTM 500. Actually, I had a brand new one in a package. Wrapped that up so there's something I don't have to clean it so much. These outerwear pre-filters that I put on the pitsterpros have been lifesavers. They are amazing. They keep the filters perfectly clean. You just kind of dust them off or wipe them off. If they kind of get dirty, you can take it off and clean it if you need to, but so far I haven't, and they've been fantastic. So I've got something like that on this one too, so I don't have to clean it so much. But I think they might be looking at or working on a different design, but it's pretty simple to deal with. Like I said, if you get a pre-filter wrap around it, I just zip tied it on there. It should stay pretty clean. I barely will have to clean it, I'm sure. So anyways, that's the fse110. Such a cool bike. No gears, 1 speed. Still hauls butt with my 180 pound body on it. So it should be pretty cool. We haven't taken that out to the property. I just gave them to him the other night. So anyways, sorry for the long-winded video. I will cut it off now and keep you guys updated. Let me know what you think in the comments. See ya.